Hey, so I was doing some thinking today because I talked to a number of the students like in our mentorship program, and the tough part about starting a business, and I think if you're in the situation, then you kind of understand this better than most people, right? The tough part about starting a business is not really the business itself, right? The mechanics are pretty simple. It's you got to know how to price your services. You got to be able to get some leads. That's marketing. You have to be able to really make a compelling case as to why the person should work with you at the price point you're asking, right? That's sales, and then you have to be able to actually do the work. Now, within those steps, yes, there are some complications. Yes, there are some things that can be challenging, right? Because you have to learn each one of those skills. But once you master the skills, the business is very, very simple to run. The challenge that most people have is really kind of like managing your life to get enough free time to actually grow the business, right? Like let's say that you have kids, right? You have like, one kid, two kid, three kids, four kids, right? That takes a lot of time. All your free time is sucked up, right? And also takes a lot of mental energy and mental kind of like space, because you have to think about like making lunches. You have to think about maybe driving to school, picking them up. Even if maybe you have a spouse that's doing it, right, that takes care of the kids while you're doing your job, like there's still that kind of mental bandwidth that kind of goes into that, right? So it's like if you're in that position, yes, it is going to be a lot harder. So in that case, what you have to do is you need to start implementing um, more strategy inside the business rather than just like running around like a chicken with its head cut off. So what a lot of people do is like they just think, okay, all you gotta do is just focus on marketing. Just want to get that first client. It's like, okay, well, you get the first client, but really what you should be thinking about is how do I build up my business in a set of systems that allows me to be able to go and get multiple clients at one time. So easiest one is LinkedIn plus LinkedIn automation to referral partners. Okay, so that's going to handle your marketing. That means you're going to have like the leads kind of coming to you, right? You might have to do like 1 to 3 consultation calls a week with like potential referral partners. Those take about 15 to 20 minutes, right? So that should take you about an hour a week to handle like 90% of your marketing. Now, within that, right, there are some partners that are like easier to work with than others. Some partners are gonna have a lot like more leads than other ones, and really understand like who is that right person to spend your time with is gonna be like really important. Also, learning how to get the people who do those partnership calls actually want to send you referrals. But let's assume that you have that, right? So now your marketing's gonna be taken care of. Next thing that you need to learn how to do is you really need to learn how to do a lot of automations inside of the work itself. So in terms of automations, you can use like workflows as well as like book review inside of like the accounting software itself, because it'll do a lot of the stuff for you. There's a lot of like rules that you can put in place as well. A rule is basically a feature in QuickBooks that allows you to just kind of repeat a process over and over again. Um, Next thing is like having a virtual assistant, right? So the virtual assistant can interface with clients for you as far as like email and text messages, and really make sure that your business is running smoothly, like making sure your automations are turned on properly, making sure that you have enough calendar space. If someone needs a document, they can send them that document, really kind of like protecting your time. So there needs to be 3 levels of automation. Automation in the marketing, automation on the work itself, and automation on like the almost like the glue of the business. So replying to clients on like very simple things, or knowing what to reply to versus what not to. Keep your email inbox clean, right? But if you're able to kind of do that and you're able to kind of get to that certain spot, that's going to be like the most important thing, because then you can really save your time and you can make sure that you're as efficient as possible within the actual business itself. Because yeah, you just don't really have time to be inefficient. Now, as far as like energy, one thing that I've learned to like work really well is to really like learn how to take like that active recovery, right? So maybe you're like doing stuff during the day, but being able to have that active recovery. Also knowing like what is an activity that will either like recharge you or drain your batteries, right? So we need to have as many rechargeable moments as possible in order for you to have the energy to set things up, okay? Because even though it's automated, like you still need to have your energy and your focus so that you can like show up at the best you possibly can when it comes to doing your sales calls. Now, if you don't have the ability to take a sales call within your time zone, I would really recommend learning how to schedule your consultation calls for a time zone that's more favorable. So let's say, for example, you're on the East Coast, right? And let's say that your children don't go to bed until about 8 o'clock. Okay, So what you can do is you can actually just only go after clients that are in like the Pacific time zone or in Mountain time zone, right? So 8 o'clock for them is gonna be 6 o'clock Mountain time, or 8 o'clock Eastern time is gonna be, what is that, 5 o'clock Pacific time. That means that you still have a number of hours that these business owners are willing to do a consultation call with you. You can also work on the weekends for like an hour or two. Now, if you don't believe in working on the weekends, maybe you have enough time during the week. If you don't have enough time during the week, I understand, like maybe you don't want to work Sundays, or maybe you don't work Saturdays, depending on your religion and your kind of beliefs. But you gotta do what you gotta do to kind of get ahead. Um, that's one thing that I learned a long time ago, is like, because I used to like taking like weekends off and taking this stuff off. When you have your business like fully up, like you can take an entire week off if you really want to. Like, think about it, because if you have recurring clients inside of your bookkeeping business and you don't really feel like working, outside of just doing the client work, you can just have someone, like a contractor, do all the accounting work for you. You just don't pick up any new clients, and you just like maintain the same like revenue level. Once you're on the 6-figure level, that's what you can do, right? So it's like you sacrifice a couple, maybe like Saturdays or Sundays for like, you know, a couple of months until you get to the point where you can like really leave your job. Then you can start really taking off weeks, right? So a little bit of sacrifice in the beginning, in order to kind of get it. But that's a cheat code that I've helped a lot of students like use inside of our mentorship program, which is like the time zone thing. So that way you can always get the time zones very convenient for you. Now let's say you're in Pacific time. So if you're in Pacific, you just go to Eastern, right? And you can just go get something earlier in the morning. So for example, what is that? 9 a.m. your time is 12 p.m. someone else's time, right? You could even do like 7 a.m. your time. 7 a.m. is 10 a.m. someone else's time. A lot of business owners are willing to, you know, meet with you at like 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., right? So you can really make it work before that. Now, in some cases, you might have to, like, you know, get your children ready for school, depending on like the age of the student, right, or the age of the child. So you just gotta really find those pockets of time when you can, right? And really get on the same page. If you have like a significant other or a spouse, like get on the same page with them. Let them know, like, hey, it's gonna be a little bit of sacrifice for about 3 months, 6 months, right? But then once it starts paying off, then we can do a lot of stuff that we couldn't do before. So, you know, I hear you. It's harder. I hear you, but it's kind of where you're at right now, right? First rule of entrepreneurship is start where you are and use what you have. So, you know, use the free time you do have, use the free energy you do have. It might take a little bit of time, you know, to kind of get things moving on your own. But if you're in like a mentorship program, there's a lot of different options you can have, right? So like, for example, in our mentorship program, if someone doesn't have time, they can actually partner with another student. The other student can either do like the actual accounting and bookkeeping work until that person can, so let's say student A doesn't have any time. They can actually go and give the work to student B with the understanding that once student A is making enough money, student A is going to take all the work back and they're going to go full-time in their business. And a lot of students are really happy with that kind of arrangement. You can even have other people in our program, like they maybe want to do more, like they like the marketing more than like actually doing the work. So they'll do the marketing for you, you take on the clients. There's some people that want to do the opposite. They don't want to do any marketing. They just want to go and take on the clients. So a lot of different opportunities for partnerships with inside of our mentorship program. Also, if you want to see if we can help you, like all this stuff we talk about in these videos needs to be customized to you, right? Because everyone's situation is slightly different. Everyone's goals are different. Everyone's life is different. So you need something custom, right? Because you can watch a lot of videos, but until you really have that blueprint and that plan that makes it easy for you to be able to go and follow through, growing a business might be really challenging, no matter what business you start, whether it's trading, whether it's Amazon FBA, e-commerce, you start a website design company, it doesn't matter. It's going to be tough if you don't have support, right? So if you want some help growing this accounting and bookkeeping business, and you want to be able to go and grow without having to like make a lot of mistakes that cause most people to fail and most people to quit, go ahead and click the link inside the description, either above, below the video, to book a call with myself to see if I can help you inside of our program. Okay? And yeah, you know, it's just one of those things. Like we have a heart to serve the people inside of our community. Because I mean, a lot of people are in the position that I was in, where it's like you have to work a job. Now, a lot of people have had to do it for longer. There's people that have been watching this video. Maybe like you've been working in corporate for, you know, 15, 20, 25 years, and you just want out. It's just time, you know. You might as well take the time now to be able to go and make the rest of your career on your own terms, rather than kind of staying, you know, just because you're like, maybe you're like in your 50s and you're like, you know, if I just tough it out for another like 8, 9, 10 years, then I'll be able to retire. Tomorrow's not really promised to you. You know, it's not promised to any of us. So we're kind of maybe like waiting for 9, 10 years. Maybe Maybe we only have 11 years, so you only get to have 1 year of really like enjoyment and relaxation. You might as well take charge of your life now, live it on your own terms, so you can make sure you have that time with your children. You can have those memories. They can have that business that can be passed on to them. You can, even if you don't want to pass it on to your children, maybe sell the business, and then you're able to go and retire off that within 3 years or 5 years, right? So really take control. If you want some help growing this business, and you feel like it's time to get serious, go ahead and click the link inside the description, book a call, see if I can help you inside of our program. Okay, when you book the call, it'll take you to a page that gives you like more information about like how we help, like different like testimonials and different things like that, so you can do like some due diligence and research. Awesome. Well,